LHS, and welcome to the April edition of Book Talk. So April is National Poetry Month, in case you haven't noticed. Outside of the library on the windows, you'll see 2 featured poets every single week this month. And there's a little haiku out there about National Poetry Month. This week's featured poets, I know Kendrick Lamar is one of them. I can't remember who the other one is, but you're going to see lots of different ones throughout the month, so make sure you stop by and take a look at that. We're also featuring blackout poetry. There's a table set up inside the library where you can come in and make your own poetry out of torn out pages from a book. We call it blackout poetry, and we're displaying those on the window as well this month. So kind of sticking with our theme of poetry, I'm going to be talking to you guys about 4 really great novels in verse this month. If you've never read a novel in verse, they are books that are written in poem form. So it tells a story just like a book, but it's written in poems, and it's really, really powerful a lot of times. A lot of times there's a lot of emotion within those poems. So I'm going to be talking to you about 2 different ones today, or 4 different ones. The first one is called The Day Before by Lois Schroeder. So if you like novels in verse, this is one of the best authors for you to check out. This one's about a girl named Amber, and she is really overwhelmed by just her everyday life, and she's super stressed out. She decides to grab her AirPods and head to the beach for a day and just relax and get away from everything, when she meets a boy there, and he's kind of escaping as well, and they decide to spend the whole day together and not tell each other what they're running from or what they're escaping from. So they're kind of keeping secrets and spending the day being kind of impulsive and exploring and some other different things. Very interesting book about the secrets we keep. So a good one called The Day Before. This next one is kind of heavy. It's called Orchards, and it's by Holly Thompson. The main character's name is Canna, and she and her friend are, quite frankly, mean to a girl. They bully her, and the girl ends up committing suicide. And the guilt that Canna feels for what she's done is intense. She didn't mean to take it that far, and she did, and so she feels a ton of guilt. She ends up going to visit her mother's family in Japan for the summer. It's kind of like a way to reset, and while she's there, she kind of experiences her culture, her heredity, where she came from, where her family came from, and has to come to terms with some of the things she's done. So very emotional, heavy read. This one's Orchards. Our next novel in verse is called Glimpse, and this one is also pretty emotional. The main character's name is Hope, and she lost her father in a car accident. It's hard to make ends meet, and she's always been the one who kept her sister kind of stable, and then she walks in on her sister attempting to kill herself. And it's a very heavy burden to bear. They get her sister some help, but she misses her. There's a lot of emotions involved with this one, and kind of dealing with a traumatic experience. So that one is Glimpse. And the last one is another one by Lisa Schroeder. It's called I Heart You, You Haunt Me. And it's about a 15-year-old girl whose boyfriend has died, but she still sees him in her dreams and can hear him. And it's such a gift because she misses him so much, and it's like she's still getting to hold on to a piece of him until she starts to heal and move on. And then he, kind of as a ghost, has to figure out how he's going to move on now too. So kind of a spiritual romance. That one's I Heart You, You Haunt Me. So I hope you get a chance to stop by the library this month and do a blackout poetry, or check out our featured poets on the windows, or read a novel in verse. Either way, see if you can find a way to interact with poetry this month. Either way, always be a reader.